want to trust God that this finds you well. I'm doing good. And today I want to invite you to my YouTube channel, Pastor Monica Mulinge. I want you to go there and subscribe to that YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so that whatever we are doing, you will be notified. Now, today I'm sharing something I'm calling the 5 C's of a pastor's wife. The 5 C's of a pastor's wife. One of the greatest challenge of every pastor's wife is to understand their role in the congregation where the husband serves. And this is because the Bible is so silent on who is a pastor's wife. What is her role? It is not very clear unless you glean from the scriptures, looking into the wives of the priests that were there in those days, like the wife of Moses, the wife of Zechariah as a priest, and that leaves a lot of pastors' wives in the dark, because they really do not know what exactly is their role. And I have come up with something that I'm calling the 5 C's of a pastor's wife. And one of the C's of a pastor's wife is that every pastor's wife is looking for a clear understanding and a clear communication of where the husband needs help. Because a pastor's wife is married to a man who is really given to the congregation, really given to serve the humanity, really spends his time in the community and even in the church, thereby at times even jeopardizing the time for the family, the time that he needs to give out as a husband and even as a father. So a pastor's wife finds herself whereby being drawn to the church, to where that which the husband has committed herself to, she finds herself into a gap of not understanding exactly what is she supposed to do with all that manner of commitment. So the first C is that she needs a clear understanding and a clear communication from the husband on where she or where he wants him to help him. Now, many pastors' wives are either expected by the congregation to measure a particular standard that is not well defined. They find themselves therefore serving and spreading themselves like a thin pancake without understanding what is their identity, and that makes them go through an identity crisis. Many pastors' wife, at times you're being called pastor's wife, even your name look like it's not significant. Ama mama kanisa, or ama mama assembly, all those kind of challenges. This leaves the pastor's wives in what we call a role confusion, suffering identity crisis, and finding herself in a place of abuse and misuse from the members who expect her to do almost everything in the congregation. At times, many pastors that are aggressive in nature, they also end up into an abusive environment where they also abuse the mandate and the authority that they need to exercise or maybe not need to exercise in the congregation. So, this is something of paramount importance. If you're a pastor, make sure wife knows where exactly do you want her to help you. Where exactly do you want her to come in? Where exactly do you want her to take up the role in, so that she does not find herself being stretched all over? Now, and this is very challenging, particularly if you're married to the ever-dreaming man of God, because you think you're helping in this and all of a sudden he's dreaming of something else. You think you're pursuing this and all of a sudden he's dreaming of something else. So, that having been said, every pastor, every servant of God need to make it very clear. The ministry structure needs to come out very clear. Where is the pastor's wife required to help? And she may not even be required to help, but it's good to know, because with the knowledge, it helps her to use her time in the right place and channel her time in the right things. Now, the number two C's of a pastor's wife is that every pastor's wife need a clear, non-judgmental, an endorsed environment of her own assignment, a non-threatening environment. She needs that communicated to very clearly, which is her area of serving. She doesn't need to serve from a place of burden, filling in the gaps. You know, she needs that public affirmation and confirmation that this is her area of jurisdiction, and this is what exactly she's actually doing in that ministry. Now, that helps her enjoy a lot of acceptance from the congregation, because the congregation does not look at her like she's intriguing or she's insinuating or she's assuming roles that she's not supposed to be doing. It gives her acceptance. It builds her public self-esteem. It heightens her level of commitment. It actually helps also in her ensuring that the boundaries are kept, or the congregation, or the pastor himself, or the other clergy is able, with that definition, it gives a very clear boundary on what can be done by a pastor's wife and what she is not supposed to do. Now, the number 3C of a pastor's wife is that every pastor's wife desire to enjoy the cover from the husband, or the cover from the structural arrangement of that ministry. Ruth asked Boaz one thing: will you cover me? Will you cover me? Every woman is looking for an opportunity to be covered either by the husband or the cover from the structural arrangement of that ministry. I've seen a lot of women of God struggle serving God because the man that ought to give that cover complicates a lot of things and make it so difficult for their wives to be able to serve as they ought to. I request and ask as men of God, let us cover the women that God has brought into our lives, and let us cover the women the women to do the work of God and the work of the ministry in the congregations where they are, and within the biblical requirements of what they need to do. Number 4 of the C's of a pastor's wife is every pastor's wife desire to enjoy the care that they see every member receiving from the husband. At times, men of God are so given to the members. They're so given to each and every other person. The care they express, the time, the listening, the attention, the providing even to the members and all that. At times, many men of God provide that which they cannot provide for their own wives to the congregation, and many pastors' wives are missing. I wish he can listen to me the way he listened to those members. I wish he can take care of my needs the way he takes care of the needs of the other members. Every pastor's wife desire that they should be nurtured, be taken care of. And pastor's wives have their own personal needs. They need to be taken care of in matters to do with their capacity development. Take your wife to school. Take your wife to a college. Take your wife to an empowerment program. There's so many empowerment programs for pastors' wives all over. Make sure you encourage them to go and support them even as they do so. The 5C of every pastor's wife is that every pastor's wife requires competence. They require to be competent. They need to be developed. They need to work with husbands and men of God that are competent. There is nothing that is frustrating in life like a woman being led by a man who is not competent, a man who speaks things that they do not do or are not committed to do them at all. Women or people that are being led desire to see the modeling of the same behavior being done in a manner that is acceptable, so that the following becomes so easy. I want to believe that you have been blessed this day. We have been recording outside in Mombasa. The weather is so nice. It's actually drizzling, and we're enjoying the weather. I want to believe that you have been blessed with the 5 C's of a pastor's wife. If you're a pastor, make sure that you offer the 5 C's to your wife, or make sure that you are a propagator, or you are the one who is a message or an agent of advocacy on how pastors' wives need to be handled. Why? Until Sarah came to faith, they could not be able to conceive and get Isaac. And I want you to know that the greatest blessing of every couple in the pastoral ministry is to work together, because from the beginning, God created them one, male and female. He created them one. Husband and wife, He created them one. May the Lord give you the wisdom and the grace to make that room for that woman, so that she can be able to serve within her giftings, within her area of capacity, so that she enjoys a high level of acceptance and affirmation and celebration even from the congregation where she serves together with her husband. May God bless you. Amen.